So many concerns and fears today. But what will our memory of the last few months focus on? Sparkling cars, near perfect gardens, redecorated dwellings, new hobbies or techno capabilities, online shopping. Perhaps people who went out of their way to help you, even sacrificially. Or perhaps people we lost. The unmentionable reality of death, very much in the news. And for some of us, the awareness of personal mortality came from a closer source. In June, my only brother, my younger brother, passed away following a cardiac arrest. No time in the church building, straight to the graveside with the pastor, funeral director and his staff, and 9 other relations. Past isolation, current isolation for some, possibly future isolation. People meeting God in isolation has been the theme in our recent worship services. And we finish with that great summary from John that John was given on the island of Patmos. Perhaps reminded of, Jesus wins. One great day that will be recognised by all. In the meantime, it's not who I am or who you are, but whose we truly are, that will direct and empower how we respond to the difficulties and joys that we have to contend with. It's been so encouraging to listen to others on Member Monday. If you haven't listened, let me encourage you to do so whilst they're still available. In the time of COVID, and in an age bowed under the ancient false god of materialism, and more recently perhaps of extreme individualism, I wondered about a personal ABC for these days. A, for adoration and action. Deep love, respect and worship for the soul-loving God who's given us everything we need. Let's make time or more time for relationship with Him and strengthen ourselves and others through that relationship. If we truly adore Him, He will act through us for His glory, others' good and our enrichment. B, for blessing and battle. King Jesus assures us that real life is found only in Him and commitment to Him. And yet that discovery leads us into an awareness that this world is not a playground, it's more like a battleground. Someone observed that when all is said and done, God is the gospel. Gospel means good news. Christianity is not first theology but news. It is like prisoners of war hearing by hidden radio that the Allies have landed and rescue is only a matter of time. The guards wonder why all the rejoicing. C, for Christ and commitment. King Jesus gave His all for us and rightly deserves and calls us to give our all to and for Him, no matter what our current circumstances may be, with His Spirit's enabling to joyfully and resiliently love God with all our being and our neighbour as ourselves. Lockdown seems to have domesticated and can domesticate many in their own closed little world. But COVID's not required for that to happen. Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. Eating and drinking, necessary. Marriage is God's call for many. But is the good not the enemy of the best? No wonder C.S. Lewis famously observed, we are half-hearted creatures, filling about with drink and sex and ambition, when infinite joy is offered us, like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We're far too easily pleased. In our final Sunday of meeting God in isolation, we heard again, do not be afraid. And ultimately, there is the fear of death. Thinking on my brother's death, I was directed to a George Herbert, who said, death used to be an executioner, but the gospel makes him just a gardener. Thank you for sharing this time. Be safe, be blessed, be used.